Hello and welcome. My name is Aoife Bulman and I am doing this Pecha-Kucha presentation as part of my coursework for a postgraduate diploma in Digital Arts and Humanities at University College Cork. I hope you enjoy listening to this presentation as much as I have enjoyed making it. I want to talk about filter bubbles. No, not that filter, and no, not those bubbles. The concept of filter bubbles refers to the algorithmic, edited and filtered information that each person using certain websites sees via their personal devices, essentially a personalized web experience. The concept of the filter bubble was coined by Eli Pariser, an American author, activist and entrepreneur whose focus is on how to make technology and media serve democracy. He first spoke of this concept in his 2011 TED Talk, calling us to be aware of online filter bubbles. Pariser first noticed this form of editing on Facebook when he was essentially removed from seeing any conservative information on his Facebook feed. Then he noticed it happening on Google, all without his consent. He also pointed out it wasn't just Facebook and Google doing this kind of personalization, but Yahoo, the Huffington Post, the New York Times, etc. We must bear in mind Pariser spoke of this phenomenon over 10 years ago, which in technological terms is a very long time, which many advancements have happened. The level of your filter bubble is very subjective. Pariser stated some people are super bubbled and some people are not, but this does not take away from its existence. Now, what is the problem? If I'm interested in plants, then perhaps I'm happy to see suggestions to join plant Facebook groups, to see plant news in my social feed, to see plant stores at the top of my Google search engine results page. The problem is I don't get to decide what gets put in and I have no idea about what gets edited out. Then that algorithm covers every aspect of my online life, including political opinion. That's when the personalization crosses into a dangerous and undemocratic territory. As Eli Pariser has stated, we have been here before, but historically it was print media and then TV broadcasting who were the gatekeepers of information. They controlled what information was let out into the public sphere. In today's society of the Web 2.0, we could say the algorithm is the new gatekeeper, deciding what we see and when we see it. You cannot have a fair and civil democracy if the flow of information is skewed. In recent years, we've seen the Cambridge Analytica data scandal, which has shed huge light on the manipulation of people via social media, illegally using their personal data and targeting them. The outcomes of the 2016 US presidential election and the Brexit campaign were as a result of specific Facebook ads targeted at certain demographics of people in the hopes of persuading or deterring their vote, and in both instances it worked. But not everyone agrees with Pariser's concept of the filter bubble. Anders Coed Madsen, in his paper Beyond the Bubble, argues that the shift should move away from the bubble and focus on a web vision. He defines the web vision as the environment of information that is open to exploration by a web user interested in specific issues. Simply, Madsen argues that we need filters in order to make sense of all the infinite information that is out there on the web. Although his paper mainly focuses on Google, it omits Facebook, which is a huge player in the data economy. There is a difference between a search engine and a social platform. The concept of the echo chamber is often a term that is interchanged with the filter bubble. An echo chamber is an environment where a person only encounters information or opinions that reflect and reinforce their own. An echo chamber could be seen as a result of a filter bubble. This can result in fragmentation, polarization, and extremism. This is the dark side of the web that Pariser has been warning us about. It also highlights how the likes of Facebook are now a primary source of information for a lot of people. In 2009, Pariser venomously argued that filter bubbles are real and as relevant as ever. If you believe in the filter bubble, curated social feeds are self-evident. But to skeptics, it has little to do with algorithms, and they would argue that the likes of Facebook and Twitter introduce people to a broader set of views. With social media platforms reshaping public life, It is now more important than ever to reshape these platforms for the greater good. Pariser suggests we look to urban planning for inspiration, stating spaces shape how we act individually and in crowds. Pariser believes we need both private platforms that are more public friendly and also platforms that are publicly owned, where people feel that they have real ownership, because people behave differently when they own something. They take better care of it. An example he uses of an online website is Reddit and subreddits, as they have clear rules and guidelines for users and information is moderated. The Filter Bubble Transparency Act aims to let people opt out of those echo chambers. Large companies would have to notify users if they're delivering content like search results or news feeds based on personal information that the user didn't explicitly provide. This all sounds well and good, but it doesn't explain how companies' algorithms work. You need to pop your own filter bubble. Like with food, we need a varied, mixed and healthy online diet. This means being open and engaged with information from all sides. For example, do not just follow The Sun and the Daily Mail, also follow The Guardian and the BBC News. Whether you believe in the concept of the filter bubble or not, the data economy that has been created in the preceding years is a major cause for concern. The buying and selling of personal data for the sole purpose of online manipulation is extremely unethical, unknowing and undemocratic. Being bubbled by our own personalized data for a personalized web experience without consent and knowledge is quite frankly actionable.